there is a greater awareness and a continually growing awareness that people with disabilities have a positive role to play, not just out there with scooters and walkers and wheelchairs and canes and white canes and the whole range of disabilities, not just out there as consumers in the shopping malls and the plazas, but increasingly in the workforce.
That's great.
And that it's still an area, it's the final barrier in our culture, in our society, that is yet to be broken.
Welcome to Woodstock 2013 in honor of Lupus Ontario. Before we do get started, I want everybody to put their hands together for Woody and Mel out there. Let's put your hands together, people.
Be a competitive athlete in any sport. Wheelchair tennis, for example, it can take you around the world, and you play 11 months of the year nonstop. And up until 2010, wheelchair tennis had always been something that I had done.
The first, and probably the most current one, consists of a problem with a guide dog. Now, don't you think people understand guide dogs and the rules that exist today? But 2 Toronto women were asked to leave a restaurant in Toronto last week because they had a guide dog.
Okay, go ahead.
Welcome to Planet Rock. I'm your host, Taylor Lindsay Noel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. On today's show, we'll be featuring country singer-songwriter Heather Ballantyne. But before we get to Heather, let's see what's making news in the music world.
Welcome to Woodstock. I'm here with the organizer, Woody, for the 2013 Woodstock event, 10th anniversary. Woody, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us today.
Well, thanks for coming. We appreciate you coming up there and emceeing for us once again this year. And
Very exciting.
I'm so excited. Jay, we're at the 100-day countdown for the Winter Games, and the uniforms have just been introduced. What do you think of the uniforms?
I'm a little lukewarm, but I think it's that way with every time they unveil new uniforms. People sort of take a little while to get used to. I thought they were a little, I don't want to say boring.
Good.
Still.
Okay. So we're 16.
Cheers, you're a trooper, darling.
We're 16 and we're back down in his basement. I'm staying there for a month, and this guy's dealing weed out of there. So we got all these little punks running around. And he decides to start cooking oil. He wants to start selling oil, but he wants to cut out the middleman.
If so, I fear a terrible tragedy will happen. Please, it is time for you to leave.
All other minority groups, however you define them, have gone through the process of a degree of discrimination, sometimes very overt, sometimes very, very subtle. But each of these groups have worked their way through the structure and the hierarchy of our culture and our society to be fully functioning and employed members, where their employment statistics are virtually the same. The one remaining exception in our society is that of disabled people.
And that's what we're trying to do.
And that's what we're trying to do.
Exactly.